Hi. So in this video lesson, we're looking at how to simplify all of these questions, about 7 of them. All right, so we'll start with the first one. We'll start with 8 raised to the power of 1/3, 1/3. Now do we write that? We have actually looked at that we could actually say the third root of 8. So when you type the third root of 8, you should get 2. Or you could also do it like this, 8 1/3, 2 raised to the power 3 will give us 8. That's 2 to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3 will give us 8. Then all raised to the power of 1/3. And so 1/3, that 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 3, find the index product law. That 3 multiplied by 1/3 multiplied by 1/3, and so 3 cancels out 3, and so you are left with 2 raised to the power of 1, and 2 raised to the power of 1 is actually 2. So that's how we get that. So then we could pick the second question that says that 81 to the power of 3/4. That 81 raised to the power of 3/4. Okay, we could write this at let's see, 9 to the power of 2 is actually 81. 9 to the power of 2 is 81, and so raised to the power of 3/4. Okay, so I can write this as 9 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3/4. So 2 here 1, 2 here 2. Okay, so we have 9 to the power of 3/2. Now, do you know that from that fractional index law, I could actually just make this the root, square root, square root. I just wonder if I don't want to put that 2 there, I can remove the 2. Square root of 9 all to the power of 3. And what's the square root of 9? The square root of 9 is 3, and raised to the power of 3. And 3 raised to the power of 3, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. And so the answer to this question is actually 27. So we have the C part of the question, and the C part is actually 27 raised to the power of minus 2/3. 27 raised to the power of minus 2/3. Okay, so how could we write this? This is minus. So what should I do to this minus? I can actually say 1/27 to the power of 2/3, and that's the first step. That's the first thing to do. And then I have 1/3 squared. There's no square that can give us. There's nothing. 2 raised to the power of nothing will give us 27. But I know that 3 raised to the power of 3 is actually 27. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. And that's basically 27. 3 raised to the power of 3 is 27. Then 2/3. And so I have 1/3 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 2/3. And so 3 can cancel out 3, and that gives us 1/3 squared. And 3 squared is 9. That's 1/9. Okay, then let's look at the next example that we've done. C. Then move to do 64 to the power of 5/6. 64 to the power of 5/6. So I know that I could actually just say the 6th root of, I can say the 6th root of 24. And if I type, 64 rather, if I type that in my calculator, I'm going to get 2, all raised to the power of 5. And that's 2 raised to the power of 5. And 2 raised to the power of 5 is 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16, 16 times 2, 32. Or, if I don't want to go through all of that, I can just say 2 raised to the power 6 is actually 64. Then raised to the power of 5 over 6. And so I have 2 raised to the power 6 multiplied by 5 over 6. So 6 cancels out 6. I'm left with 2 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 5, and 2 raised to the power of 5 is 32. So whichever method you think is fine for you, you can do that. Then next question we're going to go is 16 over 81 raised to the power minus 3 over 4. 16 over 81 all raised to the power of minus 3 over 4. So how do we simplify this? Of course, 16 cannot divide it in 4. So first, because we have this negative index here, so we have to have 1 over 16 over 81 raised to the power 3 over 4. Of course, I could just take the fourth root of 16 and 81, but basically, let me just, let me do that way. 1 over fourth root of 16 over 81 all raised to the power of 3. Okay, good. Then 1 over, what's the fourth root of 16? That's 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16. That's 2. You can type down your calculator. What's the fourth root of 81? The fourth root of 81 is actually 3. Then all raised to the power of 3. So I have 2 raised to the power 3. So this raised to the power 3 is actually for the both of them. So what's 2 raised to the power 3? 2 raised to the power 3 is actually 8. And 3 raised to the power 3 is actually 27. And so I can write this as 1 divided by 8 over 27. And I can do this and say 1, I can change this division to multiplication. But if I change the division to multiplication, I must take this up and bring this down. So that's the rule. So I have 27 over 8. So basically the answer is 27 over 8. Okay. So we have 9 to the power of x squared over 81 or x raised to the power 5. So I know 9 can go in 81. 9 here 1, 9 in 81, 9. So I have x squared, so there's no need to write my 1, I don't need that, over 9x to the power of 5. So basically, I could actually just separate this by saying 1 over 9 multiplied by x squared over x to the power of 5. So since this is division, I have 1 over 9 into x. This is square, square. This is divide, that's minus 5. Okay, from the division law. And so I have 1 over 9 into x. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. And so I could write this as 1 over 9 times 1 over x cubed because of the x raised to the power minus 3. So that becomes 1 over x raised to the power 3. And that gives us 1 over 9x cubed. So this is our final answer. So let's take our last question for today. That you have 16 raised to the power 3 over 4. 16 raised to the power 3 over 4. Then multiplied by 4 raised to the power of half. Then divided by 8 raised to the power of 5 over 3. 8 raised to the power of 5 over 3. Okay, so how would I do this? So this is 16, this is 4, this is 8. 2 raised to the power 4 is actually 16. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16. So that's 2 raised to the power 4 is 16. 2 raised to the power 4 is 16. Then raised to the power 3 fourth, that's 3 over 4. Then multiplied by 2 raised to the power 2 is actually 4. 2 squared is actually 4. Then raised to the power of half. Then divided by 8. 2 raised to the power 3 is actually 8. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. 2 raised to the power 3 is actually 8. Or raised to the power of 5 over 3. Okay, and then I have 2 raised to the power of 4 multiplied by 3 over 4, right? Then multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 1 over 2, then divided by 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 5 over 3. So 4 cancels out 4, 2 cancels out 2, 3 cancels out 3. And so what I'm left with is 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 1 divided by 2 raised to the power of 5. And of course, because both of them are of the same base, I can add up the power, and I have 2 raised to the power of 3 plus 1 over 2 raised to the power of 5. And so what do I get? I'm having 2 raised to the power of 4 divided by 2 raised to the power of 5. 2 raised to the power of 5. Now, because this is divide, that's going to be 2 raised to the power of 4 minus 5. They have the same base, and so I have 2 raised to the power minus 1. And therefore, my final answer has to be 1 over 2. Okay, good. So this is the final answer. And so this is how to simplify initial questions that has to do with indices. You have to apply the laws of indices.